Cup of Joe with Grandpa Des. Hey, Peach, long time no see.
I love it already.
All right.
What a jingle. What a screen. I love it. What's going on, dude?
Isn't that awesome? How long's it been? How long's it been? Dallas? In 2016? Since we saw each other in person?
I've literally seen you in person. Yeah, I would say 2016. Holy cow, we have gotten old.
I know. That's where I got that chair sitting right behind us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
And I just went to the one couple weeks ago.
Heard it was awesome.
It was pretty good, yeah. And I saw the ROH show, saw NXT. Brought my daughter. She got to meet a ton of wrestlers. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. I know you're not on social media that much, so
Yeah,
you know,
I dabble a little bit.
Yeah, you should check out. There's some really cool pictures of my daughter Emily with all her favorite wrestlers.
I did see one. I now remember. Okay.
Yeah, super
Punk.
No, not Punk. Hang on. I might have one in here somewhere. Hang on. Let's just have a look here.
I'm drinking a Polar.
Here we go. Look at this. Wait, here we go. This is awesome audio, especially in video.
People love
look at that
describing pictures. Oh, Trish and Lita, the divas.
Yeah,
cool.
With Emily, and they asked for that picture. Like nice. She was Becky, and they were just happened to be wandering around and like wanted to get a picture with her. And Trish even asked for a picture of our whole family with her phone. I didn't even have a copy of it. I had to reach out to someone in WWE to get her to send me a copy.
I am sorry that your daughter's a fan of Becky Lynch because she's my least favorite wrestler of all time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Like just her wrestling, or you don't like her personally?
Her wrestling's fine. Who cares about wrestling? Her persona is just abysmal. It is
fair enough.
The steampunk gimmick that started her off. Okay, maybe she's evolved a little bit, but it's just like it just reeks of sports entertainment and just bleh.
Her and her husband, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the current product.
I know. So I mean, this goes back. I've told this story before, but I don't think I've told you. My daughter had an operation in Minneapolis about 7-8 years ago now. She was 3 or 4, and she had her hip. She had both her hips broken on purpose, like the doctors did it, and then repaired them because they were going to break on their own anyways. And then so she was in a body cast, and for 2 days she didn't smile, and she always smiles, and we had not seen her smile. And the first time she smiled was watching Becky wrestle in NXT. So
okay, well, all right, maybe Becky doesn't decide that much.
Yeah, for her, you know. And honestly, and well before she was the man. I mean, Emily was a huge fan. So, and so Becky reached out to us last year when she found out that Emily was her biggest fan, and they developed a friendship. And she's the one that hooked us up with Mania tickets, and it was really cool.
That's great. I love to hear that sort of stuff, and that's what like wrestling does for people, and it makes people happy, and that's really all I care about in life is like, can you have a positive influence on the people that you're surrounded with, and can you have an enjoyable experience yourself? And it's like those guys, they do that. They know that, and they're at least the ones who get it, who will spend the time and write and sign the autographs, and you know, it does mean a lot to so many people, and even us as adults, it's like it's still a thrill, you know. So
I mean that's why I still watch. And I mean, so you mentioned you're not a big fan of the current product, but you're the one that, you know, for a while there, I mean, you were like my connection to, you know, there's a few cool things you brought me to that to a party a few years ago, which I'll never forget, meeting one particular wrestler who looked at me and said, "No offense, Paul Fontaine, but who the are you?" And it was like, I mean, hey, fair enough. But everyone else at that party was like super nice, and you know, I remember a lot of the conversations to this day. But that was like,
I don't remember. I don't remember which Briscoe said that.
It was definitely it was Jay. Mark was out of it. Mark was yeah, like
That
he was
doesn't
out
sound
of
like
it.
the Briscoes I know.
I mean that we had a lot of fun there. You know, I think it was all the old crew like Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Um, I think Flip was there. Um, who's that little dude
Yeah,
that
yeah, that was
was
a
teaming
fun
up with
night.
Rhett Titus for a while? Um, the
Oh, Will Ferrara.
That's the guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
He
a
was there.
legend in ROH. I love
Yeah,
Will, man. He's a great guy. He was off ROH TV for a long time because he switched to, he's like evolved his role into
yeah.
producer, and he's a trainer and he does a great job. Like, yeah, Will's the man, dude. And he's the nicest guy ever. Yeah, love Will.
He was like a
You know,
young boy at that time,
he
kind
was. He
almost.
was.
Yeah.
He is coming to his own.
And the one thing I remember too from that weekend, so we were hanging out before the afternoon of the ROH show at the WrestleCon, and we're in I guess it was Delirious's hotel room, or was it? It might have been yours. And so you met him and a few other people, and then you were telling me, oh yeah, when the ROH show starts, just go down, you're on the list. So the show starts, I head down there, and I'm like, I go, no, I'm Paul Fontaine, I'm on the list. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. There's no list. Like, where's your ticket? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I was like, well, who told you this? And I'm like, Peach Machine. And they look at me, I don't know who the hell Peach Machine is. And then I'm like, and then I gave them your shoot name, and they're like, I still don't know who you're talking about, dude. And then I think it was Kerry Silken comes by. He's like, what's going on here? And I tell him, and he's like, I just said, Peach Machine. He's like, I don't know who Peach Machine is. And then he's like, and then I'm like, well, I was upstairs and I was with Hunter and, blah, blah. He's like, oh, you know Hunter? And I'm like, yeah. He says, okay, go ahead in. And he let me in. And then you told me later, well, you should have said Viggity. I'm like, well, you got like 8 million names.
I do have quite a few nicknames.
I know. So that was funny. But I mean, I got it. Long story short, I got in, but it was kind of a funny story, I thought.
Yeah, Kerry knows Viggity.
Yeah,
that's most of the ROH guys know Viggity. That's
and none of the other people mostly. Like they have no idea, and there's no freaking list. It was just like
no list.
No list. But it was it was pretty easy to get in. I mean, I probably could have just walked past them. I don't think they were checking tickets or anything.
Here's the key to getting into anywhere in life is just act like you deserve to be there and you're supposed to be there. That is the dirty Ronald McDonald, Mikey G lesson I learned early and often.
He was the other one. Yeah. Ron, Mikey G, he was there. And I remember I saw him, so I met him that weekend, and real cool dude. And I've seen him a couple times since, actually. But he did a squash match on Raw not that long after that. Legendary against Braun Strowman. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed he didn't get a contract out of that, because he probably got a lot of bookings out of it.
Well, he made one fatal flaw. Vince said, don't look directly into the mic. And Mike said, I'm staring directly into the mic, and did it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah, great job, kid. And he did a great job, but you don't cross the boss like that. And anyway, what's funny? No, he didn't care. I am good friends with formerly known as Victor of the Ascension. Yeah, and formerly known as Evan Bourne, Matt Seidel, and Mikey G and we both, like Matt and Victor, used to work for WWE, and they both were released, and then Mikey got booked, and then I got booked.
I know. So I saw you on. You were like an orderly in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, I was on Raw.
Yeah.
So we were gonna do. I was like, we're gonna do a tag match. It's gonna be the WWE versus the former WWE.
me and you and Mikey or WWE.
Yeah, we were the current product. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I saw you since then, because since Dallas, because it was in Vegas when you.
That's right.
You and Mikey and Bird.
The Birdman.
Wrestled Alvarez and Disco Inferno. Was that the match? What a
stupid match. Oh, that was the match. Yeah. 3-on-1 and we lose.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, I don't think I'd ever seen you wrestle at that point. And I was impressed. Like, I thought you guys were good. And Mikey, he's a pro. And Bird did his job.
No, Bird failed to do his job. All he had to do was put his arms out and catch Alvarez. And he just was like, was just like Frankenstein down and like
Which way
missed.
do I go?
Yeah, whatever. It was fine.
Yeah, I
It was
enjoyed
fine.
it, and it was and I love the just a simple story in the match too,
Yeah.
with Brian being the heel that he was, even though he thinks he's a baby face.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I had fun. My son and I were in the front row heckling you guys. I don't know if you could hear
Appreciate it. Sure,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
go ahead.
so you got married since then, right?
No, not yet.
Oh, I thought you did. Oh, I thought okay, but you're
Engaged.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Not
you're in
married
St.
yet.
Louis now?
I am in St. Louis,
Oh, cool.
and I moved here a couple years ago, and yeah, I don't know how it happened, but I started pro wrestling again. Like I had quit, I'd given up, I started again, I quit, and then all of a sudden Mikey comes into town. He's like, I need you to come out of retirement and do a match with me. I was like, fine. I go through all the rigmarole, and then Mikey leaves, and the next month I'm booked again, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do another one. And then I'm booked the next month, and the next month, and here I am. I think it was like 3 years later. I'm doing my final retirement match in a month, 2 months,
Again.
2 months.
And so which promotion?
Against it is called Dynamo Pro Wrestling. It is out of St. Louis.
Okay.
I wrestle as the Beachbody Ryan Ash, and I started the storyline kind of on a whim. I went to a show, and it was COVID and everything was weird, and I was like, this sucks, and no one's here, and everyone feels weird and uncomfortable. And my buddy, the Outcast, I was like, hey, Outcast, guess what, man? I'm thinking about having my final match, and I want it to be against you. And he goes, swear. He goes, oh man, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but tonight's my last match. He's like, I want to quit too, because we both been doing this for 20 plus years.
Hang on, I screwed that up. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
So he says, yeah, this is my last match tonight too. And I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to find someone to do my last match against that will be fun. That's all. And I'm like, well, Mikey has warrants in Missouri. He's probably not coming back. Who else? Seidel's now with AEW. He's too expensive. And so I'm like, all right. So I call up. He's got a bum body, and so I'm like, all right. Mike Corcoran, he's injured. I start running through the list, and I'm like, hear the news. I'm like, ROH dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ROH dead. So I quick text. I quick text Hunter. I'm like, what's the deal? He goes, dude, just had to fire like 35 guys. And I'm like, oh my God. What? And he's like, yeah, it was the worst day of my life.
Wow.
So we're talking. I go, you are now not under contract. So I say, dude, how about you? And he's like, I'd love to do it, but I don't know. So time goes on, and I get a text about 3-4 weeks ago, and he's like, I'm in. I got no contract with Ring of Honor, so it's me and Delirious, and I've been doing a thing. The angle's been this. I've been just kicking guys in the crotch and winning for the last 4 or 5 months, and then protesting that I am the greatest wrestler of all time. And so the officials have seen enough of me, and they said, next time you lose, you're retired. And I said, well, I never lose. And then they played the Delirious promo over the loudspeaker of him calling me out. And I was like, no, I can't believe it's Delirious. Ryan Ash. Yes, that was it. That was it. Yeah. And so everyone goes crazy, and they're like, oh, because he hasn't been in St. Louis in years and years and years. And he started here. We've been doing this shit. Yeah, we've been doing this 20 years. I mean, I
maybe longer.
I remember when he was a trainee where I was wrestling and coming up, and like just this scrawny little punk from Cairo, Illinois, and nothing town. I mean, neither is Cape Girardeau, Missouri, but him and Seidel, and it's like that's who we started together with, and those guys, they did something, and I just kind of hung around and did nothing really. But It'll be fun to wrap it up with Delirious one more time. We're gonna go like probably an hour, and we're gonna do every spot you've ever thought about. We're gonna do the Iron Claw. We're gonna do just anything we've ever thought of. I'm gonna. I've always joked with him. One time I asked him on a car ride. I said, "Hey, what did you want to be when you grew up?" And he said, without hesitation, baseball player. And I go, "Me too." I go, one day we're gonna have a catch. he's like, cool. No. So I'm gonna hide 2 gloves under the ring during the match. Delirious is gonna go into the ring, find 2 gloves, throw one at me, and then throw a ball at me. We're gonna have a catch during the match.
And you two will be the only one that even get it.
The only one that gets it.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. So will I be able to see that on YouTube?
I'm sure at some point. Yeah.
Awesome. So speaking of baseball, I see you got the Tampa Rays shirt on, which are my biggest rivals. Because I'm a huge Jays fan. What? You hate the Rays?
No, you're a huge Jays
fan, and you hate the Jays, right? Okay, yeah.
No, so I don't hate the Jays. I don't hate the Jays. I love the Rays, but I love the Yankees. And I love the Jays.
Okay.
It's a hard American League East for me, my friend.
Oh my God, the American League East is so.
I'm sitting
tough
on a. I'm sitting on a Yankees blanket here. I got Yankees shorts on. I got a Rays hat on, a Rays shirt. I got a Blue Jays sweatshirt. So
I do hate the Rays. Just because
why?
The only reason I hate them is because
they do it better than you.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's because it's because the Jays have always had such a hard time against them. Like even when the Jays are good, they can't beat the Rays. Like I don't know what it is. They go to Tampa, they lose. They just lose. Like it's and so that's it. Like it's not really. I don't have a problem. The Rays are an incredible team. Like I can't believe how they reload like constantly, and they've got all these guys you never heard of, and they win 100 games. Like
that's why I love them, because
I
love the Yankees. I'm from St. Louis, so I love the Cardinals, and everyone hated the Yankees. And I'm a heel, so I'm like, go guess what? I like the Yankees now. And then the Yankees rattle off four World Series in the late 90s. And I'm like, see, they're great. So I've just been like with this Yankees guy. And so I really do like the Yankees. But I lived in Tampa, and I was like, I gotta start checking out these Rays. Like, and they're the opposite of the Yankees. They do it with no money. Yeah. They do it in an artificial environment, like one of the worst stadiums or domes that everyone hates, as opposed to Yankee Stadium.
Goes to games.
No one goes to the games. Yeah.
The
The crowd base isn't there at all. Like they're not supported. They do kind of good numbers on TV, but and so I was down there, and then during the COVID year, Toronto played in Dunedin, Florida.
Yeah.
And so I got to go to a game over there, and I love Bo Bichette.
Bo, I mean, he's got the flow.
Yeah.
He looks like Roosh.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah.
He does kind of.
And Vladdy,
of course.
Teoscar Hernandez, and the pitcher, Alek Manoah.
Oh,
dude. That guy's
throw some gas, man.
Stud. I mean,
so I went to this game in Dunedin, and I got on Sports Center because Vladdy hit a home run. Yeah, I'm pretty famous now. So,
me too. Did you see my thing with Punk?
No, maybe that's what I was thinking about when I said your daughter.
I
saw a photo with
I'll find it.
Hold on,
keep going.
Find it. But let me tell you. So they're playing. They're playing somebody, and I'm sitting in the right field, and I'm in the last row of like the stand up. There's like a stool behind me, so I'm like dying to get a baseball, and Vladdy crushes one, and I'm like, this one's coming straight over my head. And I'm like, this one's mine, baby. I turn and I just eat shit over my chair, ass over tea kettle, feet go flying in the air, smash my face in the ground. Everyone laughs at me. It was awesome. And the ball cleared the stadium, and I didn't even get it. And you can see it on sport. You can see it on Sports Center for like a split second.
But at least, hey, you know what? Would you think you would have been more famous if you caught it, or because you missed it?
No, I mean, if they would have noticed that I ate shit so badly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I found it here. I'm just putting it up. So this was my interaction with CM Punk. This was during the Revolution pay-per-view. He used his old ROH entrance, and I didn't recognize the song. Like, I've seen his old matches, but it's always clipped, right? Like, you see the beginning with no entrance, so I didn't know his entrance song. So I wrote, "What am I missing with this Punk entrance?" And then he writes, "A deep understanding of storytelling, a brain."
Nobody does it better than CM Punk.
No. And the funny thing is, like, I wasn't even mad. Like, hey, whatever, like, I didn't even tag him. So I don't know if he was vanity searching or what. And and then
got you good.
But here's the thing. Okay. I watch the shows and I watch them on a delay because I have to meet her and I bathe her and I do all kinds of stuff. So her attention, she has a problem. I got to deal with it. So I usually start the shows about a half hour late. I fast forward through the entrances. And so what happened was the thing starts, Punk's music hits. And I'm like, okay, his entrance is like a minute and a half. So I hit the 30-second button 3 times. And then I see MJF in the ring. I'm like, oh, okay, I must have fast forwarded through MJF's entrance. All of a sudden I hear this music I don't know. And the lights go out. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then Punk comes out. And I'm like, that's when I typed in what I said. What's up with this Punk entrance? And then I fast forwarded again until the match started. Now, during the stuff I fast forwarded, Excalibur explained it. But of course, I'm watching on a delay.
Did, yeah.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So I just asked my Twitter followers and somebody answered, oh, it's his old ROH thing. Oh, cool. Okay. I wonder if anybody recognized it. And then I did make one comment because somebody says, oh, how can you write for Wrestling Observer and you don't know anything about wrestling history? And I'm like, dude, just because I don't know the theme song from an indie promotion from 17 years ago doesn't mean that I don't understand wrestling history. And oh my God, it blew up at that point. But then when Punk did that reply, people got on him and said,
really?
Why are you being such a dick? And I'm
that's
like,
what he does.
Right. And I even said, he's got every right to say what he said, like he's right. I should have been paying more attention and, whatever. Like, it didn't bother me at all. And my response to him, actually, if you look at it, was, here, hang on. Just got to take off your banner here for a second. Yeah. I understand the story. I'd never seen that part of your ROH career. Now it's been explained to me. It's really awesome for those people that did. The whole storyline has been my favorite. I've seen it over 2 decades, and I've said that many times, which sounds like I'm kissing his ass, but it's true. Like, I do a podcast, The Dynamite Show, and I rave about that storyline every week. So the MJF Punk one, like, I thought that was freaking awesome. Everything about it. That promo that they did where Punk – or where MJF actually recreated like every single line that Punk said to Raven before their cage match, just incredible. Like, yeah,
really,
it was, it was just a thing of beauty. Like, and so I didn't get this one part, and that's fine. And when it was explained to me, great. His response didn't bother me, but oh my God, my Twitter mentions. Like I log onto Twitter and I've got thousands, and
heat is heat.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? I mean, the only
Punk
time
does it better than anybody. He's a smart guy, and he's made it so. I mean, he's cut his own path. He's done it his way, and no one can take that away from him. And whatever. That's who he is, and he doesn't care. And that's why people love him so much. Is because he's willing to say what he thinks, whereas everyone else is playing sports entertainer. And I don't have the balls to do that, but he did. And I don't watch AEW either. I just don't have time for it. And I went to an AEW show that was here. It was dark, and he did a promo with I can't remember. Not Homicide. Is that Homicide? No, not Homicide. Right? No. Who's it? No, it wasn't Homicide. It wasn't
Homicide. He did a couple shows for them, but I don't think it was Homicide.
No, that's not who it was.
Kingston.
Whatever.
Kingston for sure. Kingston. Yeah. Because they hate each other, like on real life and in the promos.
It was great.
I think real life. You know better than me, but
I don't know, probably a little bit. And
I know the one you're talking about. It was actually right before. It would have been last November, right? Right before Full Gear. Yeah, and they had a match. The match they had at Full Gear was freaking incredible. It was like 11 minutes, and it was like an All Japan match. Like, it was
the greatest live promo I'd ever seen. It
Oh,
was
okay, cool.
incredible. I was like, the whole show was great. Like dark, the way they run it, it's like tight, just like boom, 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 just
it was actually
energy
it would have
constantly.
actually been Rampage,
And it
that
was
you
the
would have
live
saw.
Rampage part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Danielson had a match, and it was great. And I was like, damn, this product is hot. If I wasn't old and liked wrestling, I would watch it. Yeah.
Well, in just over an hour from when we're recording right now, I'll start watching this week's show, and then I do a podcast on the Fight Game Media Network, cheap plug, Dynamite show, and we cover it. And I will say, like, Punk is actually, in my opinion, doing the best in-ring work of his whole career right now. He's doing these matches every week. He had a match with Dustin Rhodes last week that was freaking incredible. He's had one with Bobby Fish not that long ago, Daniel Garcia. He's just wrestling everybody. You just pick a name, he's wrestling them, and he's having these great matches, and he's selling, and you can tell he's having the time of his life. And he's gonna be wrestling.
I saw the one he had with Seidel, and that was around that time. Great, phenomenal. And my offer still stands. I will fight him, whenever.
Right? Yeah.
He dude, fight me. Like, I don't care. Like,
we were trying to get that going. I was going to corner you.
We're almost the exact same age. Yes, you're going to corner me. We're almost the exact same age. I haven't had a fight in now 12 years or so. Like, you got more experience than I do. So let's just do it, man. Come on. Who cares? One more time. Come on. And I don't dislike the guy at all. I like him, in fact.
Did you see the UFC this weekend when Mike Jackson fought again? The guy that...
Oh, really? No.
The
guy that they both got fired? I thought they both got fired.
No. So he beat Punk, right? But then he had it overturned because he failed a dope test. And so he had another fight on his contract. So he's fighting this prospect. This Mike Jackson is the second worst fighter in UFC history behind Punk. And he's terrible. He's actually a reporter. Like he covers the shows. And then, so he had this fight. He's getting killed. Like, it's going to be 10-8 round, but then the guy he was fighting had 2 fouls, and then the second one he kicked him right in the nuts, he gouged him in the eyes, and then Jackson's like, I can't see,
can't go on, I can't go on.
He wins by DQ, and then as soon as they raise his hand, all of a sudden he's fine.
Now, what a heel!
What a heel! And he's getting another fight now. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'll fight him. I'll fight Mike Jackson.
He's the worst. Like, he's so
who cares?
Bad. Yeah, because he lost to Mickey Gall in his 30 seconds in his debut, and then he beat Punk in like 15 minutes and in the worst UFC.
Mickey Gall's a tough guy, though.
Mickey Gall's tough. Yeah, he's. I mean, you look at his record. He's like, I think, like 11-7 or something. But all his fights are in UFC. So
exactly. I mean, he's
or maybe it's like 8-5, but whatever. I do a UFC podcast too, so I should know this stuff. But Ryan Frederick is my co-host, and he's the brains. I'm the good looks.
Oh, Ryan Frederick, I haven't heard him in a while. I said hello.
I will.
I miss the old crew.
It's too bad you're not coming to Vegas in May. That'll be my first trip in 3 years. Going to Double or Nothing.
Can't make it.
Yeah, I know, it's too bad. Yeah, we'll catch up at some point.
We will.
When's your you said next month is your match?
Next is June 25th against Delirious.
25th. So that's the day before the New Japan Forbidden Door pay-per-view. You might have some indie guys in the area, because that's Chicago, so that's not too far, right?
No, it's not. It's 5 hours from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
It's right over the river in St. Louis.
Right.
But come on out. I don't know where it is. Dynamo Pro Wrestling, someplace in Illinois. Cool. Check it out. But hey,
I'm not going to go, but I will definitely try to find it. I'll try to find it. You know what? If it was like in a time when I was going down for some reason, like if I was going to Minneapolis or something, I would definitely. I'm going to Minneapolis next week, but if I was
Minneapolis and where this match are not very close there.
No. But when you say close, it's all relative. Keep in mind, I drove 20 hours to WrestleMania, so if it's within 6 hours,
oh my God, you're a savage. Back to Winnipeg.
Yeah, well, I'm with a daughter in a wheelchair. She was great. We had an awesome time. Stopped at casinos on the way and lost my ass, and it was good times. But we stayed in the Wrestler Hotel, which was cool, and got to meet a lot of cool people. So
nice, sounds fun.
All right. Yeah, so this was really cool. And we're coming up on the half hour, and speaking to my daughter, my wife is texting me. I gotta go help But it was cool catching up with you. I'll try to have you on again
Of course,
at
man.
some point.
Anytime.
Maybe
Happy
next
to do
time.
it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
This was
right?
fun.
Tomorrow.
This was fun. Yeah,
We'll do
yeah,
it tomorrow.
sure. You know. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. This will drop tomorrow. Actually, we'll put this up.
Okay.
So 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern.
So
Central
today
Daylight
when you're
Time.
hearing it. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So
But
it's
today when
we're
you're
Wednesday.
hearing it. So when you're
It'll be
hearing
Thursday. Yeah, we've had this trouble before. Thursday at 6 p.m. This will be on YouTube.
Central Time, Canadian.
Yeah, and then the audio
Canadian
will go up
Central
in a couple
Time,
months. Yeah,
which
Canadian
is
Central
2 hours
Time.
short, and daylight
Yeah,
savings time. You got to factor that in. -4.
Daylight time now, which I guess you guys won't even have next year, right? Is what I'm hearing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One thing that the government's ever done that I appreciate.
And we
Get rid of
will.
this crap.
So next year it'll be 6 here and it'll be 7 there, but whatever.
Oh, Lord knows.
Yeah. All right. So for Peach Machine, I'm Grandpa Dez, and this has been. Oh. Cup